What if the person you trusted more than anyone else was the one who destroyed your life? Not by accident, not in anger, but by design. What if your best friend smiled in front of you, cried for you, and still carefully planned your downfall? And what if 8 years later you came back, not to kill them, but to erase them? Willow Creek wasn't just a neighborhood, it was a performance. Every house looked like it had been approved by the same invisible designer. White fences, clean driveways, lawns trimmed with almost obsessive precision. In the mornings, people jogged with expensive headphones. In the evenings, wine glasses clinked under warm patio lights. No one shouted. No one struggled. At least, not where anyone could see. Because in Willow Creek, perfection wasn't optional. It was expected. And on a quiet street called Hawthorne Lane lived 2 women who had mastered that performance better than anyone. Emily Carter was everything this neighborhood loved. She had that kind of beauty that didn't feel forced, the kind that made people trust her instantly. She remembered names, she remembered stories, she remembered exactly what to say and when to say it. Her husband, Daniel Carter, was a high-profile attorney, the kind who didn't just win cases, he controlled them. Together, they had 2 children, Lily and Noah. Smart, polite, perfect, just like their parents. From the outside, Emily Carter had a flawless life. And then there was Olivia Bennett. Olivia didn't try to shine. She didn't need to. Where Emily was warm, Olivia was precise. Where Emily spoke, Olivia listened. Not because she was shy, but because she noticed things. Small things. Details people didn't realize they were revealing. She lived just 3 houses down, with her husband, Mark Bennett, a financial consultant who spent more time with numbers than people. Their house was quieter. No kids, no chaos, just space. But Olivia wasn't lonely, because she had Emily. Every Friday night, it was the same routine. Emily would walk in without knocking. "Wine?" she'd ask, already pouring it. They'd sit in the backyard, soft lights glowing above them, talking about everything and nothing. Neighbors, marriage, regrets, secrets. The kind of conversations that only happen when you believe the other person will never use them against you. "We're basically sisters." Emily said it often, and Olivia believed her. Until one night, something changed. It started small, almost invisible. Emily was quieter than usual, still smiling, but distracted. "Do you ever feel like your life is too perfect?" she asked suddenly. Olivia raised an eyebrow. "That sounds like a good problem to have." Emily let out a soft laugh, but it didn't feel real. "I mean it," she said. "Like one small crack, and everything just collapses." Olivia studied her, really studied her. For the first time, Emily didn't look perfect. She looked afraid. Before Olivia could respond, sirens. Faint at first, then louder, closer. Too close. Olivia stood up, walked toward the front door. The night air hit her skin as she stepped outside, cold, sharp. Down the street, red and blue lights flashed violently. Neighbors were already gathering, whispering, watching. Something had happened. Something bad. By morning, Willow Creek had changed. Not visibly. The houses were still perfect, the lawns still trimmed. But underneath, something had shifted. A teenage boy, Ethan Cole, 17. He had been found on the side of the road, broken, unconscious, hit and run. No witnesses, no suspect. Just shattered glass on asphalt, and questions no one could answer. Olivia called Emily. Once, no answer. Twice, still nothing. 3 times, voicemail. That wasn't normal. Emily always answered. Always. A strange feeling crept in. Not fear, not yet, but something close. So Olivia grabbed her keys and drove. Emily's house looked fine. Car in the driveway, curtains drawn, nothing out of place. Too perfect. Olivia knocked. No response. She knocked again, harder. Finally, the door opened, and everything inside Olivia went still. Emily didn't look like herself. Her face was pale, her eyes hollow, like she hadn't slept, like she hadn't breathed. "Hey," said Olivia carefully. "You okay?" Emily nodded, too fast. "Yeah, I'm fine." She wasn't. Olivia could see it. "Emily," said Olivia slowly, "what happened last night?" Emily looked at her, really looked at her, and then whispered, "Come inside." They sat at the kitchen table. No wine, no laughter, no comfort. Just silence. Emily's hands trembled. "I didn't mean to." Olivia felt her chest tighten. "What didn't you mean to?" Emily looked up, tears forming, but her voice steady. "I hit him." Olivia blinked once, twice. "No," she said softly. "You didn't." "I didn't see him," Emily said quickly. "He just came out of nowhere, I swear." "You called 911, Olivia said. It wasn't a question, it was a hope. Emily didn't answer. "Emily." "I panicked." Silence. "I left." "You left?" Olivia stood up instantly, chair scraping loudly behind her. "You hit a kid and you just drove away?" "I was scared," Emily snapped. "You don't understand what this could do to my life." Olivia stared at her. Something wasn't right. This wasn't just fear. This was calculation. "You need to turn yourself in." "No." The answer came instantly. Too instantly. "I need your help." Olivia froze. "What did you just say?" Emily stepped closer, tears falling, but her voice steady. "You drove my car last night." Silence. "There are cameras," she whispered. "If they check traffic footage, it has to be you." Olivia stepped back slowly. "No. Emily, no. Please, no. You don't understand. Daniel can fix this. He knows people. This doesn't have to ruin both our lives." "You want me to take the blame for a hit and run?" "I want you to save my family." And then Emily said the one thing she should never have said. "You owe me." Olivia's face changed. "All those nights I stayed with you," Emily continued, "when you lost your baby, when Mark almost left." Each word cut deeper. "This is different," Olivia said quietly. "I know," Emily whispered. "That's why I need you." And in that moment, everything split. Right, wrong, truth, lie. And Olivia made a choice. The wrong one. She said yes. The police came the next morning. They were calm, professional. They already had pieces. Now they had a confession. Olivia didn't fight, didn't cry, didn't even look at Emily as she was taken away. The trial was fast, too fast. Reckless driving, hit and run. A boy fighting for his life. The jury didn't hesitate. Emily sat in the front row, perfect, broken, crying at the right moments, holding Olivia's hand once, just long enough for everyone to see. 8 years. The words hit, but Olivia felt nothing. Not anger, not fear, just emptiness. Prison changed everything. Time slowed, thoughts sharpened, and the truth started to surface. One day, a letter arrived. No name, no address, just one sentence. She planned it. Olivia stared at it, then laughed, because it sounded insane, until another letter came. This one had a photo, blurry, dark, but undeniable. Emily's car, parked near the scene, before the accident, waiting. Something inside Olivia broke. Not loudly, not violently, just quietly, permanently. This wasn't panic. This wasn't an accident. This was planned.
"You didn't just betray me," Olivia whispered in the dark. "You built this." Years passed, and Olivia changed. She stopped trusting, stopped hoping, stopped feeling, and started watching, learning, planning. Because revenge wasn't about anger, it was about control, and Olivia was finally in control. 8 years later, the prison gates opened. Olivia stepped out, different, sharper, unrecognizable. A new identity waited, a new life, but only one purpose. She looked up at the sky, closed her eyes, and smiled. "Emily Carter, I'm coming home."
Revenge isn't always loud. Sometimes it doesn't scream, it whispers. It doesn't destroy you in a moment. It erases you, piece by piece. And the worst part? You don't even realize it's happening until everything you built is already gone. 8 years ago, Olivia Bennett lost everything. Now, she's back to take it all back. Willow Creek hadn't changed. That was the first thing Olivia noticed. The same streets, the same houses, the same carefully maintained illusion. It was almost insulting. Like nothing had happened, like 8 years of her life had simply been erased. But Olivia wasn't the same. Not even close. She wasn't Olivia Bennett anymore. That name had been buried, forgotten, destroyed. Now she was Claire Holloway. New identity, new documents, new life. Everything legal, everything clean. Because Olivia had learned something in prison. If you want to destroy someone, you don't break the law. You use it. The car slowed as she entered Hawthorne Lane. Her eyes scanned every house, every window, every shadow. And then she saw it. Emily Carter's house. Still perfect, still untouched. White walls, blue shutters, flowers blooming like nothing had ever gone wrong. Olivia smiled. Not out of happiness, but recognition. Because she understood something now. Perfection is the easiest thing to break. 3 days later, Claire Holloway moved in. Not next door, not too close, just close enough. A house at the end of the street, recently listed. Perfect timing. People noticed her immediately. Because in Willow Creek, new faces were rare and interesting. The first to approach her was exactly who she expected. "Hi, you must be new." Emily Carter. Same smile, same warmth, same illusion. Claire turned slowly. For a brief second, their eyes met, and time froze. Emily didn't recognize her. Of course she didn't. 8 years, different hair, different posture, different energy. Olivia was gone, and standing in her place was something else. Something sharper, something colder. "I'm Claire," she said calmly. Emily smiled wider. "Emily, welcome to the neighborhood." And just like that, the game began. Revenge wasn't about rushing. It was about patience, control, precision. Claire didn't attack. She integrated, slowly, perfectly. Within weeks, she became part of the neighborhood. Coffee meetups, charity events, book clubs, and of course, Emily's Friday wine nights. "Claire, you have to come," Emily insisted one evening. "You'll love everyone." Claire smiled politely. "I'd love to." And just like that, she was back, in the same backyard, under the same lights where her life had once been destroyed. The same chairs, the same laughter. But this time, she wasn't the victim. She was the storm. Daniel Carter. Confident, controlled, sharp. The kind of man who trusted logic more than people, which made him predictable. Claire didn't approach him directly. That would be too obvious. Instead, she created coincidence. At a charity fundraiser, she accidentally spilled wine near him. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," she said. Daniel laughed lightly. No harm done. Small talk followed, then longer conversations, then interest. Not romantic, intellectual. Claire positioned herself as someone who understood him, his work, his stress, his world. Something Emily never truly did. And slowly, Daniel began to talk. About cases, about pressure, about things he never said at home. Seeds were planted. Not lies, just carefully chosen truths. It started subtly. "Daniel seems stressed lately," Claire mentioned casually to Emily one night. Emily frowned. "He's always stressed." "Of course," Claire smiled politely, "but lately it feels different. Just a sentence, just a suggestion, but doubt, once planted, doesn't leave." That night, Emily asked Daniel more questions than usual. He brushed them off, but something had shifted. A small crack, almost invisible, exactly how Olivia wanted it. It started with sleep, or the lack of it, then anxiety, then paranoia. "Do you ever feel like someone is watching you?" Emily asked Claire one evening. Claire tilted her head slightly. "Why would you feel that way?" Emily hesitated. "I don't know. It's just a feeling." Claire smiled softly. "Sometimes our past finds ways to remind us it's not done with us." Emily went silent, because deep down, she knew. This wasn't random. Something was wrong. Daniel came home late one night. Emily was waiting. "Who were you with?" Daniel frowned. "What? You've been distant, secretive. Something's going on." Daniel sighed. "This again? You're hiding something." "I'm working." The argument escalated. Louder, sharper, more personal. Because the cracks were no longer invisible. They were growing, and Claire was watching all of it from the outside. Perfectly calm, perfectly patient. That night, Claire stood in her living room, lights off, looking out at Emily's house, watching, waiting, a glass of wine in her hand, just like old times, except this time she wasn't the one being betrayed. She was the control. Her phone buzzed. A message. Unknown number. Phase 1 complete. Claire smiled. Slowly. Coldly. Emily, you're not losing your life all at once. You're losing it exactly the way I did. Piece by piece. Some people think revenge is about making someone suffer. But the real revenge is making them watch as everything they love falls apart. Not all at once, but slowly. Until one day, there's nothing left. And by the time they realize who did it, it's already too late. Willow Creek still looked perfect, but perfection was only skin deep. Behind closed doors, things were breaking. And at the center of it all was Emily Carter. She wasn't sleeping anymore. Every sound felt louder. Every shadow felt closer. The reopened case had started to consume her. Ethan Cole's name was everywhere now. News updates, neighborhood whispers, police revisiting old leads. It wasn't aggressive. Not yet. But it was enough. Enough to remind her that the past wasn't buried. It was waiting. Across the street, Claire Holloway watched everything. Calm, collected, precise. This wasn't chaos. This was design. Every move calculated, every reaction predicted. Because Claire wasn't reacting anymore. She was directing. Like a puppet master, pulling invisible strings. And Emily had no idea. Destruction doesn't begin with loss. It begins with isolation. Claire understood that. So she didn't attack Emily directly. She removed everything around her, one piece at a time. Daniel Carter was the first. The pressure at work had increased. Strange inconsistencies in his cases. Clients pulling out unexpectedly. Documents going missing. Nothing illegal, nothing obvious. Just enough to shake his confidence. And Claire was always there, listening, understanding, supporting, while Emily was falling apart. "You've been distant," Emily said one night. Daniel didn't even look at her. "I'm tired." "You're always tired now. And you're always paranoid." Silence. That word hung in the air. Paranoid. Because deep down, Daniel was starting to believe it, that Emily was losing control, and Claire made sure of that. Lily stopped talking to her mother, not completely, just enough to create distance, because Claire had already become her safe space. "Your mom doesn't trust you," Claire said gently one afternoon. Lily frowned. "She just worries too much." Or maybe, Claire paused, carefully choosing her words, "she's hiding something." That was it. A seed. And seeds grow. Noah, younger, more sensitive, started noticing the fights, the tension, the cracks. And slowly, the family stopped feeling like a family. In Willow Creek, reputation was everything, and Claire understood that better than anyone else. She didn't spread rumors, That would be messy. Instead, she asked questions. Small ones. Innocent ones. Do you think Emily's been acting strange lately? Is it just me, or does something feel off? Nothing direct, just enough to make people think, to notice, to question. And once people start questioning, they don't stop. Soon, whispers began, then distance, then quiet judgment. Emily Carter was no longer perfect. It happened on a Thursday night. Daniel didn't come home. At first, Emily waited. Then she called. No answer. Again, nothing. Panic set in. Not fear of danger, fear of losing control. She drove out, searching, calling, until she saw it. Daniel's car, parked outside a small restaurant, and inside, Daniel, sitting across from Claire, laughing, relaxed, connected. Something inside Emily snapped. She walked in. What the hell is this? The entire restaurant went silent. Daniel stood up. Emily, calm down. Don't tell me to calm down. Her voice cracked. Her control gone. Claire stood slowly, calm, composed. Emily, I think you're misunderstanding. Shut up. The word echoed, loud, raw. People stared, judging, watching. And just like that, Emily Carter's perfect image shattered. That night, Emily couldn't take it anymore. The pressure, the fear, the paranoia. It was too much. So she did the one thing she should never have done. She went to the police. I need to tell you something. Her voice shook. I was there that night, too. Everything spilled out. The accident, the panic, but not the truth, not the whole truth. Because even now, Emily didn't fully understand what had really happened. The investigation reopened fully, but this time it went deeper, much deeper. And what they found changed everything. Ethan Cole wasn't just a random victim. He had a connection to Olivia Bennett. Years before the accident, he had worked part-time at a financial firm, the same firm where Mark Bennett, Olivia's husband, had uncovered something. Financial fraud. Large scale. Hidden. And connected to Daniel Carter. Emily didn't plan everything. She was used, manipulated, guided. The accident was real, but what came after wasn't. Someone had helped her cover it up. Someone powerful. Someone who had everything to lose. Daniel Carter. Claire stood alone in her house, listening to the news, watching the chaos unfold. Emily breaking, Daniel exposed, the family destroyed. Everything exactly as planned. Because Olivia had known the truth long before. Those letters weren't random. They were clues. Pieces of a puzzle she had spent years solving. This wasn't just revenge for betrayal. This was justice. Cold, precise, complete. Emily came to her door, desperate, broken. Who are you? Her voice barely held together.
Claire looked at her, for the first time, not as prey, but as someone who finally understood. You really don't recognize me. Emily's eyes widened. Slowly, painfully. No, she whispered. Olivia. Silence. And then Claire smiled. Not warm, not kind, but final. You took 8 years from me. Her voice was calm. So I took everything from you. Emily collapsed, crying, broken, destroyed. Weeks later, Daniel Carter was under investigation, his career over. Emily, alone. Her children, distant. Her reputation, gone. And Claire, she disappeared, just like Olivia Bennet had. No trace, no name, just a story people whispered about. A warning. Because some revenge stories don't end with blood. They end with something worse. Silence, loss, and the
realization that everything you built was never really yours. Because the most dangerous enemy is the one you never see coming.